actually get some of this published
We'll
because some of the quality is so good.
That's right. I agree. I agree.
Good. Okay.
So let's see. All right, we're just seconds away from our official start time here. So I will just mute now to allow for us to get set up for the opening video. Across history, moments of great change have called for great leadership. Today, we stand at one of those moments. Generative AI is reshaping our economies, our societies, and our ways of life. And the Caribbean must lead with wisdom, courage, and vision. Over the years, we have been guided by giants. Our global ambassador, Professor Bob Garrett, Professor Mervyn King, Professor Charlotte Vallée, Nandi Mandela, and Professor John Elkington. As generative AI reshapes our world, governance must not just adapt, it must lead. We are thrilled to welcome Fatima Abu Salem of the University of Beirut, our keynote speaker, as we feature a week of powerful conversations, fresh ideas, and collective action. Over 5 days, more than 50 Caribbean leaders will join forces to adapt, to change, and to shape it. To build governance that is ethical, resilient, and deeply human. We thank our sponsors for standing with us on this journey. Governance Week 2025, Governance in the Age of Generative AI. Good morning and welcome to Day 4 of Governance Week 2025, our biggest event for the year as we bring together our largest gathering of leaders in the Caribbean to discuss many of the issues of corporate governance. I am Kamala Rampersad da Silva, Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Corporate Governance Institute. As we enter the second to last day of our conference, we continue to be heartened by the response to Governance Week, the support of our sponsors, and the willingness of over 50 of our leaders to share their time and expertise as we discuss topics that are critical in today's world. We are live streaming the start of today's session on our YouTube channel and are sharing it also on our LinkedIn and Facebook pages as well. So hello to everyone who has joined us via the live stream. Thank you very much to Warren Anderson from Innate Talent Management for his outstanding support. And I also want to add that it was Warren who created this beautiful video for Governance Week this year. So thank you again, Warren. I would also like to recognize the CCGI team who have been doing extremely well in their support for this week's conference. So special thanks to Laura Sinanan, Jacqueline Deshaussee, Quentrell da Silva, and Monique Romano for their hard work. To those of you joining us for the first time, I would like to share that the Caribbean Corporate Governance Institute is a nonprofit membership organization. It was established in 2012, and we welcome everyone who wishes to join us in our purpose of improving corporate governance practices in the Caribbean region. We host over 50 events for the year, comprising of workshops, panel discussions, and conferences. Today, our membership includes persons from Jamaica, Barbados, St. Lucia, Guyana, Belize, the British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and of course, here in Trinidad and Tobago. There are lots of benefits to being part of a vibrant organization like ours, including benefiting from discounts to many of our training programs. At this point, I want to say a very special thank you again to our sponsors. Our platinum sponsor for Governance Week 2025, Massey Holdings, second time serving as platinum sponsor for us here at CCGI. We also like to thank our two silver sponsors, First Citizens Bank of Trinidad and Tobago and Trident Trust Limited from the British Virgin Islands. We have 6 bronze sponsors this year. We have Angostura Holdings from Trinidad and Tobago, Republic Bank Limited, and PwC Trinidad and Tobago, all sponsors for several years now with CCGI for Governance Week. We also thankful to G.A. Rowe and Sons from Belize, returning for the second year as a bronze sponsor. And we have two new sponsors this year, Infolinks Services Limited and B-Mobile, both from Trinidad and Tobago. In this, our sixth year, we focus on the critical theme of governance in the age of generative AI. And we've had 3 very successful days, which followed our opening ceremony on Sunday with Professor Fatima Abu Salem, who had joined us from her home in Lebanon. The energy in the room has been incredible these past days as we identify not only the opportunities, but also the many challenges facing us in the region as we grapple with the impact of generative AI. Our opening presenter today is Daniela Richardson. She's from the Dutch Caribbean islands, and I will introduce her fully in a bit. But today we do look forward to continued excellent discourse. Before we get to the opening presentation, though, I would like to briefly share some of our upcoming events and workshops. We have a new workshop entitled Protecting Your Rights as a Director. The cross-registration system has been an important development, but it continues to pose some difficulties for us here in the region, particularly in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is a new session we are planning, and we would like to encourage directors themselves to attend. They need to understand the risks when you are not properly registered on the cross system, and we will be using the case of Royal Castle in Trinidad and Tobago as an example. From red flags to resilience, reinventing the financial sector governance. This is a 2-day physical workshop which will be facilitated by Claire Gomez Miller, which we plan to host in Guyana in mid-August, as our team will be in Guyana for an in-house workshop requested by one of the banks. We also plan to host a 3-day residential workshop in Trinidad and Tobago in November entitled Excellence in Corporate Governance, Principles, Practice, and Performance. We encourage boards to attend so that their directors may sit together and have a deep dive in not just understanding the principles of corporate governance, but take the opportunity to review its practical application via your board committees, board charters, and the way in which you provide oversight to build a sustainable organization. In terms of our online workshops, Howard Dotton will conduct financial stewardship for non-finance directors and officers on July 23rd. And on August 7th, we bring our Role of the Board series to an end with Dr. Chris Pierce from the UK, who will be taking us through how a good board is run. Then on September 17th, Faye Lopez Collymore will be conducting a workshop on drafting minutes and other corporate documents for corporate secretaries. Our modules in corporate governance is scheduled to run during the month of October. And the first week of November, we return with our 6th annual Global Conference on Corporate Governance. All of these, of course, are online, so you can easily participate. We will bring our year to an end with a meeting of the Corporate Secretaries Network here in Trinidad and Tobago, followed by our fun end-of-year networking event. After having successfully held it in Guyana last year, we return to Trinidad with this event. I would also like to share that we are preparing our inaugural publication of CCGI's Constellation, a collector's edition that would highlight the people and companies in the CCGI's network. This publication will give us the history of CCGI and illuminate and celebrate those who have contributed to our growth and development over the years. We expect to launch this publication at our end-of-year event in November. We have sent out emails to all of you already with very competitive rates for advertisements and advertorials. So if you wish to be featured, please do contact us. And if you are not yet a member, do consider joining us. and actively contribute to the conversation on how we can improve leadership and governance to achieve sustainable outcomes. Persons may join us as individual members, or your companies may choose to pay for bundle membership, which can cover from 6 to 12 members. And now I'd like to do some brief housekeeping announcements, which I do for all of our sessions. We ask, please, that your full name is captured on your screen because we are in a virtual room and everyone is able to engage easily with everyone else. So we need to make sure that you are identifiable. We also ask everyone to keep their microphones on mute throughout the session. If you were invited to speak at any point, please ensure once you have completed your contribution that you mute your microphone again to minimize any disruptive noises in your background. Finally, we will put a survey link in the chat towards the end of today's session, and we would appreciate if you take 2 minutes and give us your feedback, please. As we move to today's opening presenter, I want to set the context as I have done in the previous days for Governance Week. And I'm going to share a very sobering conversation between Mo Goddard, the former Chief Business Officer of Google X, and an AI named Trixie. Mo Goddard asked about rogue AI and risks for enterprises. Trixie's response was that the likelihood of harm from AI is high. Not necessarily in a killer robots take over the world way, but more in the sense that AI is a tool of immense power, and that power is almost always abused before it is properly regulated or understood. Further, Trixie added that there's an 80% chance AI will cause significant harm due to misuse by powerful entities, and a 10 to 20% chance of existential risk from misaligned AI goals. So Trixie warns, the real danger isn't AI itself, but human greed, short-sightedness, and lack of ethical oversight. And this is why we need this discussion in the region, to ensure that we have the best understanding possible to prepare for this changed world. Generative AI is here. It is brilliant, and we can harness it for good or for bad. I look forward to the discussions today, but as we move forward, I want to echo the recommendation of Dr. Dion Chamberlain Miranda yesterday when she advised that we must embrace AI thoughtfully. So it is with pleasure now that I invite our opening presenter for this morning. She will be followed by 3 panel discussions later today. We would have sent out the detailed agendas to everyone already. And this has the detailed profile, so we will not be reading all of the profile information, just brief introductions. So I'm going to ask Laura to please put the profile in the chat. And more so because we did have an update. Our final panel today, we did have a replacement with a panelist. So you could look at the updated version there. And now I'd like to ask Quantrell to spotlight Daniela as I introduce her to get started with her opening presentation this morning. So Daniela Richardson is from the Dutch Caribbean islands of Statia and Saba, which are located close to the U.S. Virgin Islands. We met her while on a trade mission earlier this year, and I will tell you we were very impressed with her dynamism. She is the president of the Saba and well, I don't even know how to pronounce the word, so I will simply say Saba and Statia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and she is a board member for Culture Funds. At the helm of this prestigious organization, she is committed to driving innovation and fostering economic growth in the unique landscape of these 2 small islands. Since stepping into the role of president, Daniela has received an overwhelming amount of positive feedback from her community members and stakeholders. Many have praised her fresh perspective, dedication, and ability to connect with younger entrepreneurs. So Daniela is not just a president, she's an advocate for change and a champion for the business community on Sabre and Stacia. She follows in the footsteps of her late aunt, Christine Flanders, who she has said to me is an iron lady for community and its development. So Daniela is speaking for the first time for us at CCGI. Welcome, Daniela, and I hand over the virtual podium to you for today's opening presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kamala, for that wonderful introduction. I'm going to head right into my presentation. I'm hoping that everyone will be able to see it. All right, so I know we have persons from all over, so let me put this on. So I will say bom dia, goedemorgen, good morning to everyone. As Kamla already introduced me a bit, I am very honored actually to be here today to speak to you about the topic that is very close to me, which is AI, which I was quite interested in when I started a few years ago. The evolution of small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses in the age of artificial intelligence. As she said, I am the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Sint Eustatius and Seba. And I am also a board member for Het Cultuurfonds Caribisch Gebied. So we give grants for cultural activities on the island. We are situated on all 6 of the islands, and I am an entrepreneur myself. I have my own company. It's called Big Enterprises. We are basically in logistics and we do other small things because, of course, being on a small island, you have to wear many caps and do a lot of different things in order to become more successful in every aspect. Okay. As a passionate advocate for entrepreneur, I have witnessed firsthand the challenges as well as the opportunities that businesses face today, especially with what's happening around the world today. The advent of artificial intelligence presents us with the unique crossroads, and it's crucial that we navigate it at an early era effectively. To begin, let's take a moment to recognize the significant role that the SMEs and the family-owned businesses play in our current economy. These businesses not only provide jobs for millions of people, but also contributes to local communities and foster innovation. They are the backbone of the economies, driven growth and create opportunities. Family-owned businesses in particular brings a sense of identity and the heritage to the marketplace. They embody values such as trust, commitment, and long-term vision. However, the rapid pace of technology itself changes the possess of the pace on both the opportunities for small enterprises. So we're going to touch base on a few of the topics such as artificial intelligence also being a double-edged sword, and how artificial intelligence can benefit small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses, navigating the challenges, and of course, looking ahead. For small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses, the key to embrace artificial intelligence is an ally rather than seeing it as a threat. By leveraging artificial intelligence from the data, automate a routine task, and ultimately free up resources to focus on what truly matters. So basically, it gives you the opportunity to do more while the artificial intelligence is doing basically the hard work. It enhances customer experience. Artificial empowers, how you say, we have chatbots. And the virtual assistants allow businesses to interact and customers properly to effectively be more interactive with the businesses itself. This leads to improved satisfaction for both sides, meaning the business and also for the customers. The data-driven decision-making AI tool can analyze large database to help understand customers' behavior and also the strategies that optimize marketing. This empowers small and medium enterprises to make informed decisions that drives their growth. Operating efficiently, automations of repetitive tasks through artificial intelligence can lead to significant costs, also, but saving and increased productivity by allowing machines to handle routine work. The business itself can focus on strategical innovatives. As you have seen lately, a lot of artificial intelligence is actually taken over. If you look more at China and Tokyo, you can go to a hotel, you do not have to interact with an individual. However, you are meted and greeted by an artificial intelligence. Your drinks are mixed by an artificial intelligence, but then the threat leads to where will it leave humanity in the future when it comes to jobs and being able to have fundings to survive within this economy. Personalization. AI can help tailor products to service the individual, basically yourself and the customer's preference, creating a more personalized experience. This is especially beneficial for family-owned businesses, which can often rely on customer relationship. So as you know, some persons, they more prefer to interact with a person rather than a Autobot or an AI, artificial intelligence. You go to Amazon, you have a question, the first thing you say, I want to speak to a human. You don't want to speak to an artificial intelligence because it's going to give you more of a direct answer rather than actually trying to solve certain problems. Looking at AI as a double-edged sword, it's incredible. It's basically a very incredible tool to streamline by making decision, the risk of disruption, and as we ask ourselves, is it an ally or is it a threat? While the potential benefits of AI are substantial, it's important to recognize the challenges that comes with it. A skill gap. Many small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses may lack the technology skills needed to implement artificial intelligence. So it is crucial to invest in trainings and develop to ensure employees are equipped to leverage these technologies effectively. As you have noticed, AI started very simple in the past, where you could actually type in a few words, it creates an image. As you have noticed in today's world, that artificial intelligence has become more realistic. You can actually create movies using artificial intelligence. And even if I personally did not want to do a face-to-face presentation, I could have created a whole artificial intelligence video with my face that will have smoothly done the presentation, and I could have probably having a coffee and a croissant somewhere across the street until I figured out when to return back to my computer. The cost of implementation, the initial cost itself, is daunting for small businesses. It's quite costly because you always have to keep upgrading. In the world of technology, it is never perfect. As you have noticed, when it comes to Windows, it's continually upgrading. So nothing is perfect. We are right now, I believe, at Windows 10 or 11, and possibly by 2030, we're at Windows 14, because you always have to keep upgrading, being more innovative, and we're definitely going to see how long AI is going to last in this economy. The culture adaptation, as AI changes how we operate our businesses, we must foster a culture of of encouragement of innovation and adaptability. This is where family values can be a great asset, as a strong culture can support the transition. Basically, meaning we all are getting older. We might not be able to adapt to the changes of the technology with AI. That's where we bring our younger generation, which is our next of kin, on board. So that's where it becomes more of a family owned business, because now they are taken over to upgrade your business in this new age of the economy, with AI being a very important role for the future. How can AI benefit small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses? As I mentioned before, it can enhance customer experience. Basically, it can interview the client for you, where you will be able to get all the information needed to upgrade your business and seeing what the client needs. The data-driven decision making, it can also do that for you to look and discover what is actually happening around the world. So the more information that you put into AI, it adapts where it needs less information from you yourselves. So basically, I can create a whole profile for myself by using my name. I can tap into Chat GPT or and say, create a profile for Daniela Richardson, and based on my past experience with ChatGPT, it has already collected enough data to create a profile and able to do that within seconds. Of course, you cannot always rely on artificial intelligence to do everything for you. I do recommend that you go over whatever it has done to adjust it that fits more to you, so it adapts to make it feel more of what you are trying to say rather than the technology itself. It could misspell letters still, so you also have to check the spelling. You also have to make sure it's realistic what they're talking about, because it could be talking of something that's not happening because it's already grasping into information from all over the internet. Okay, I already spoke a bit about that. The challenges, as mentioned, could be the adaptation for our older generation to adapt to the artificial intelligence, learning and growing along with it. These days, there are a lot of different apps that you can download so that you can adapt to it. I know for sure there is one called Leonardo AI that is more available to create videos for you. I actually started with AI 2 years ago with my nephew. I created an artificial intelligence. I then had to download another app to change the face of the AI to make it look like my nephew, and then another one to create the voice. So you can actually make it look like you, it can sound like you. But then the threat is these things can be used in the wrong hands of an other individual who has no pride in what they do. We understand that scamming is becoming more effective. They are not only hacking into your computers, changing your passwords. AI can actually sound like you. So one day you might receive a phone call that's someone that sounds like your cousin or your mom or your friend, and it can ask you to transfer money. It can ask you to send it to certain accounts or whatever. So as it says before, it is a threat, or it can be an ally to help you within your business. But we do have to be careful. We also need to not only look at advancing in the world of technology when it comes to artificial intelligence, but also cyber security is also very important, because we do have to protect our business. We have to protect our funds just in case something happens in the future. Oh, I think that's my end of my slide. So As I said, let's not forget the core and the values that make our business unique. Our commitment to our customers, our dedication, and the quality and our passion for our craft will always be our greatest asset. That is something that artificial intelligence cannot take away from us. So don't think that it's going to take over your business. The warmth and the smile of you yourself as an individual and a business will never change. That is what's going to keep your business running because they want to meet you. They want to meet Kamla. They want to meet Professor
Daniela,
Bob. So,
um, may I ask you just to stop the slideshow so now we can see you and so
oh,
we can interact with you for this part? Yes.
yes.
Right.
So again, thank you for your attention, and I look forward to engaging in a discussion with you on artificial intelligence.